Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss some few of the cell organelles. So for today's class the first one is ribosomes. These are also known as pellet particles because pellet gave the term ribosomes. Now let's talk about these ribosomes, the basic characteristics of ribosomes. First thing about ribosomes, no membrane is there. Ribosomes में membrane नहीं होती है. So these are the organelles which are not having any membrane. First thing about ribosomes. Now if we talk about their presence, then they are present in both prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells. Again, exception is here mammalian RBCs are not going to have ribosomes. Mammalian RBCs में ribosomes नहीं होते हैं. Now the ribosomes that are present in prokaryotic cells, they are almost somewhat smaller, different from the ribosomes that are present in the eukaryotic cell. Now one cell is going to have lots of राइबोसोम्स. एक सेल के अंदर बहुत सारे राइबोसोम्स होते हैं. लाइक इफ वी टेक ई कोलाई, example of E. coli, that is a simple bacteria that is having almost 20,000 to 30,000 ribosomes in one single cell. और अगर इसको हम कंपेयर करते हैं एक यूकैरियोटिक सेल के साथ, then eukaryotic cell is having far more ribosomes as compared to the prokaryotic cells. Now these ribosomes, what these actually are? They are ribonucleoproteins. They are made up of ribonucleoproteins. Means two components are there, that is RNA and proteins. So RNA and proteins are combining together and they are making the ribosomes. अगर हम ribosomes की बात करते हैं, then there are two subunits. One ribosome is made up of two subunits. One subunit is known as larger subunit that is dome shaped, and the second subunit is small in size, that is known as smaller subunit, almost ellipsoidal in shape. तो दो सब यूनिट्स प्रेजेंट है और जनरली दोनों सब यूनिट्स एक दूसरे से सेपरेट रहती हैं. द स्मॉलर सब यूनिट इज ऑलमोस्ट हाफ ऑफ द साइज ऑफ द लार्जर सब यूनिट. अगर हम दोनों सब यूनिट्स का स्ट्रक्चर देखते हैं, दीज आर मोस्टली सेपरेटेड फ्रॉम ईच अदर. सो इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द लार्जर सब यूनिट, देन दिस लार्जर सब यूनिट हैज अ रिज, a central protuberance is there and a shaft is there. This is the ridge, this is the protuberance and a stalk is there. This is the structure of the larger subunit of ribosome. While if we see the smaller subunit of ribosome, this smaller subunit of ribosome is having a platform. Over here a head portion is there and on the lower side a base is present. This is the platform, a cleft, head and base. This is the structure of a smaller subunit. So this is how these subunits are present, and during the time of protein synthesis these subunits are going to fit. पहले ये सेपरेट रहती हैं जब तक प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस नहीं हो रहा है. जैसे ही प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस स्टार्ट होगा, दिस टू सबयूनिट्स आर गोइंग टू fit inside each other and they will be functional. Now for their attachment, the smaller subunit is going to attach with the larger subunit, and for this attachment there is requirement of magnesium ions. More the magnesium ions are present, more and more ribosomal subunits are going to bind with each other. So magnesium is very much required for the attachment of smaller and larger subunits. Now these ribosomes, they are present in two forms. They are present in monosome forms, means only single unit of ribosome is present, or they are also present as polyribosomes. We already talked about polyribosome when we talked about the ribosomes in a prokaryotic cell. So over here also, when more and more protein synthesis is required, जब ज़्यादा प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है या जब एक ही पॉलीपेप्टाइड की मल्टीपल कॉपीज की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है, वन पॉलीपेप्टाइड and multiple copies of that polypeptide is required, then they are going to be present in form of polyribosome. Polyribosome means there is a stretch of mRNA that is having the information for the protein, and over this stretch of mRNA ribosomal units are attached and they are involved in the synthesis of polypeptide. This is how the polyribosomes are present. So सिंगल फॉर्म में भी प्रेजेंट हो सकते हैं या पोलीराइबोसोम्स की भी फॉर्म में प्रेजेंट होते हैं. नाउ अगेन वी आर हैविंग टू टाइप ऑफ राइबोसोम्स डिपेंडिंग अपॉन वेयर दैट राइबोसोम इज प्रेजेंट. Either the ribosome is present in cytoplasm or the ribosome is present in the organelle. So we are having cytoplasmic ribosome, that means these are the ribosomes which are present in either cytoplasm, that are either freely present in cytoplasm or they are present on the surface of cytoplasmic surface of endoplasmic reticulum. Surface of ER, and we know that these ERs are having ribophorin and these ribophorins are helping in the attachment of ribosomes on their surface. Now see, these ribophorins are there. Now which subunit is going to attach with the ER? The larger subunit of ribosome is going to be attached with the endoplasmic reticulum. एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम के साथ डायरेक्टली कौन सी सब यूनिट अटैच होती है? लार्जर सब यूनिट अटैच होती है. सेकेंड होते हैं हमारे ऑर्गेनेली राइबोसोम्स. ऑर्गेनेलर राइबोसोम्स, दोज आर प्रेजेंट इन ऑर्गेनेलीज. हमने प्लास्टिड्स भी डिस्कस किए हैं and the most important plastid is chloroplast, and we talked about that this chloroplast is having ribosomes and mitochondria is also having ribosomes. So जो organelles में ribosomes present होते हैं, these are organeller ribosomes. They are present in chloroplast and mitochondria. In chloroplast 70S ribosomes are present and in mitochondria 70S is there, but 55S ribosome can also be present. Now these ribosomes, they are performing different functions. They are forming different type of proteins. The ribosomes which are present freely in the cytoplasm, they are responsible for the formation of structural proteins. जो राइबोसोम साइटोप्लाज्म में फ्रीली प्रेजेंट होते हैं, दे मोस्टली फॉर्म द स्ट्रक्चरल प्रोटीन्स, एंड द राइबोसोम्स विच आर प्रेजेंट ऑन द सरफेस ऑफ एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम, दीज आर गोइंग टू फॉर्म द ग्लोब्युलर प्रोटीन्स. They are responsible for the formation of globular proteins. Now these proteins, we already talked, these are not going to be the functional proteins, these are the precursors. So they are going to enter into the lumen of the endoplasmic reticulum. Lots of modifications will be there, folding of proteins will be there, because we know that most of the proteins are functioning in tertiary or quaternary structure, and these are the 3-dimensional structures. So इनकी फोल्डिंग होती है और फोल्डिंग में स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ प्रोटीन्स इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, दीज आर नोन एज चैपेरोन्स. So later on the protein folding will be done and they will be going to convert into fully functional protein. So this is how ribosomes are involved in the formation of proteins. Now let's talk about the size of ribosomes. Size of ribosome is identified by the sedimentation coefficient in the centrifuge. And there is a unit that is used for it, that is the Swedberg unit, and it is denoted by capital S. Now on the basis of their sedimentation coefficient, we are having two type of ribosomes, prokaryotic ribosome, that is the 70S type of ribosomes, and eukaryotic ribosomes 80S ribosomes. दोनों ही ribosomes दो दो सब यूनिट से मिलके बने हैं, larger and smaller subunit. In 70S the larger subunit is 50S and the smaller subunit is 30S. I am writing over here L and S. L is for larger subunit and S is for smaller subunit. So यहाँ पर 50S और 30S की दो units present है. In 80S ribosomes the larger subunit is of 60S and the smaller one is of 40S. So these are the subunits that are present in prokaryotic and eukaryotic ribosomes. Now if we talk about the 80S subunits, then these all the components of these 80S subunits, they are going to be formed in the nucleolus. क्या चाहिए हमें? RNA चाहिए. They are made up of RNA and proteins. So all the RNA that are involved in the 80S subunit, those RNA are going to form in the nucleolus and proteins are obviously going to form in the cytoplasm. While if we talk about the 70S, that both RNA as well as protein, they are going to form in cytoplasm of the prokaryotic cell. दोनों एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म पे बनते हैं, that is cytoplasm of the prokaryotic cell. Now let's see कि which subunit is having which RNA, which rRNA simply, and how many proteins are associated with them. So I am going to make the subunits. This is 80S rRNA, 80S ribosomes, 70S. Now two subunits are there, smaller one is 40S and larger one is 60S. Here the smaller one is 30S and this one is 50S. Now the types of RNA and proteins involved in them, this smaller subunit of 80S rRNA, that is made up of 18S of ribosomes, is made up of 18S rRNA and it is associated with 33 proteins. While the larger subunit is having 28S rRNA and 5.8S rRNA associated with 40 proteins. So these are the combinations through which these subunits are formed. If we talk about these subunits, then this smaller subunit, it is having 16S rRNA and over here 21 proteins are present. Over here 30S rRNA is there and 5S rRNA plus it is associated with 34 proteins. So these are the rRNA and protein components of different subunits of different type of ribosomes, eukaryotic and prokaryotic ribosomes. Now let's discuss about the functions of ribosomes. We have already talked about most of the functions of ribosomes. Like they are involved in protein synthesis, that's why they are known as protein factory. ये protein synthesis में involved होते हैं, इसलिए हम इनको protein factories बोलते हैं. They are responsible for formation of various enzymes. Like simple example is peptidyl transferase. So lots of enzymes are being released by these, formed by these ribosomes. These are having binding sites. The ribosomal subunits are having binding sites for mRNA and tRNA. If we talk about the binding site, अगर हम binding site की बात करते हैं तो let me show you the binding sites that are present over here. Say this is the smaller subunit and this is the larger subunit of a ribosome. तो जो small subunit होती है ribosome की, that smaller subunit is having a binding site for a mRNA. So this is how a mRNA is going to enter into this smaller subunit and it is going to bind. जो यहाँ पर rRNA present है, these are going to provide the binding site for this mRNA. जो larger subunit होती है, that larger subunit is having 3 binding sites. यहाँ पर 3 binding sites present हैं, A site, P site and E site. These are the 3. Naming is, this is A site, this is P site and this is E site. This A site is the amino acyl site. यहाँ पर tRNA, charged tRNA enter करता है. Charged tRNA means the tRNA that is going to carry amino acid. So here a charged tRNA is going to enter. जिस tRNA के पास अमाइनो एसिड होता है that is going to come to the A side. जो P साइट होती है वहाँ पर एक पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन इलोंगेट करती है. पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन कैसे बनेगी? अमाइनो एसिड्स आर गोइंग टू कंबाइन टुगेदर विद द हेल्प ऑफ पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड्स. सो अ चेन ऑफ अमाइनो एसिड्स इज गोइंग टू फॉर्म एट दिस P साइट और E साइट को बोलते हैं हम एग्जिट साइड. यहाँ से अनचार्ज्ड tRNA ने अपने अमाइनो एसिड को यहाँ पर ट्रांसफर कर दिया, अब वो खाली है, उसके पास अमाइनो एसिड नहीं है. सो दैट इज नोन एज अनचार्ज्ड tRNA. सो दिस अनचार्ज्ड tRNA इज गोइंग टू मूव आउट फ्रॉम here. So these are the binding sites that are present in the ribosomes and these are some of the functions of ribosomes. Now let's move on to the next organelles. These are the cytoskeletal structures. So let's talk about the cytoskeletal structures. What we know about these cytoskeletal structures? These are minute, fibrous, tubular structures. And these are responsible for maintaining a structural framework of the cell. So they maintain structural framework of the cell. And they are only present in eukaryotic cells. Now we are going to discuss about 3 type of cytoskeletal structures. The first one is microfilaments. Second are intermediate filaments. And the third are microtubules. So these are the 3 type of cytoskeletal structures that are present in the organism, eukaryotic cells. So firstly let's talk about the microfilaments. पहले microfilaments के बारे में बात करते हैं, then we are going to talk about these two sequentially. Now microfilaments, these are going to be like elongated cylindrical rods. So they are solid structures, elongated cylindrical rods, and they are made up of प्रोटीन एक्टिन. किससे मिलके बने होते हैं? एक्टिन प्रोटीन से मिलके बने होते हैं. नाउ व्हेन वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट कॉन्ट्रैक्टाइल प्रोटीन्स इन मसल्स, एट दैट टाइम वी टॉक्ड अबाउट एक्टिन. सो द मोनोमेरिक यूनिट इज spherical, single unit is G-actin, and loads of G-actin, they are combining together to give a filament like structure that is known as F-actin. So it is the polymer of G-actin. So this is how these microfilaments are present. If we talk about the thickness of these microfilaments, then these are 6 to 8 nanometer thick, micrometers thick. This is the thickness of these microfilaments. So it's nanometer. Now these, where these are present? These are present at the boundaries of soul and gel. We talked about that cytoplasm is divided into two parts, soul part and gel part. So at their junction, these are going to be present, and they are present just below the plasma membrane. So they are present at soul gel boundary and below plasma membrane. So they are associated with plasma membrane. They are also associated with endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast. So let me remove this. So these are associated with spindle fibers, endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast, and in some of the primitive organisms, it is also believed that these microfilaments are giving rise to spindle fibers in primitive organisms. These filaments, they associate together and they form bundles. So associate to form bundles. Another thing about these microfilaments, they are contractile. Microfilaments are contractile and they are associated with another proteins also, like myosin is there. अगर हम मसल के मायोफिब्रिल्स की बात करते हैं, then they are having these microfilaments जो मसल्स के कॉन्ट्रैक्शन में हेल्प करता है, बिकॉज कॉन्ट्रैक्टाइल प्रोटीन्स आर प्रेजेंट इन देम. सो दे आर हेल्पिंग इन मोटिलिटी, like pseudopodia, movement of pseudopodia, then microvilli, endocytosis is there. So these are the functions in which these microfilaments are involved. So what we were discussing about these microfilaments, that they are associated with these are contractile proteins, they are contractile, associated with myosin, they are helping in motility, movement में help करते हैं, like movement of pseudopodia, formation of microvilli. We already know about microvilli. जो intestine है वहाँ से there is folding of the membrane, and this is how microvilli are present, and the internal framework of microvilli that is maintained by these microfilaments. Endocytosis, in endocytosis also these are going to help the plasma membrane. So these are different functions that are done by these microfilaments. Now let's discuss their function in detail. So these are some of the functions of microfilaments. Cytoplasmic streaming, that is also known as cyclosis. There is movement of cytoplasm, and that is because of these microfilaments. Second one is membrane proteins. They are helping in the stabilization of membrane proteins. Support, they are providing a structural framework, a support, cytoskeletal support to the cells. Change in form, during development and differentiation of cells, these are playing very important role. Differentiation and development of cell. An important role is played by these microfilaments. Myofibrils, we know they are present in muscles. So these myofibrils are having microfilaments which are contractile in nature, and they are helping in the contraction of muscles. Microvilli, they are involved in the stabilization of the structure of microvilli, plus they are involved in the movement of microvilli for more absorption. So for increased absorption, these microfilaments are responsible. Then membrane undulations. What happens in fibroblast cells? Plasma membrane is going to show undulation. That is because of these microfilaments. Then pseudopodia, the formation and retraction of pseudopodia, that occurs because of these microfilaments. Endocytosis and exocytosis, we already discussed that during endocytosis and exocytosis, the changes that are coming in plasma membrane, for these changes the microfilaments that are associated below the plasma membrane, they are responsible. Then spindle apparatus, in most of the lower organisms, these are responsible for the formation of spindle apparatus. And during cytokinesis, cytokinesis means when there is division of cytoplasm, they are responsible for the formation of cleavage furrow, so that the cytoplasm is going to divide into two parts. So these are some of the functions of microfilaments. Now the second type of filaments are intermediate filaments. Intermediate filaments are also almost solid with more thickness as compared to these microfilaments. So they are almost solid and thickness is of almost 10 nanometer thick. These intermediate filaments, there are of various types, like we are having keratin filaments, neurofilaments are there, glial filaments are there, heterogeneous filaments are there. Depending upon the different body parts in which they are present, there are different type of intermediate filaments. Like these keratin filaments are present, like we are having keratin in skin, then in desmotubules, also in desmosomes, they are going to be present as tonofibrils. In desmosomes, then second neurofilaments, these in axons and dendrites. they are present in association with microtubules. So in nerve cells, in axons and dendrites, these are going to be present. The glial filaments are present in astrocytes. These are the intermediate filaments that are present in astrocytes. And the heterogeneous filaments, they are present in muscles. These are the intermediate filaments that are present in muscles. Like in muscles we discussed about Z line, M line. So these are having these heterogeneous filaments. So these are some of the examples of intermediate filaments which are present in different body parts. Now let's discuss about the functions performed by these intermediate filaments. These are some of the functions of intermediate filament. Nuclear matrix, most of the nuclear matrix is having these intermediate filaments. Then they are providing support to the membrane, both plasma membrane as well as nuclear membrane. Both are having these intermediate filaments and they are providing support to these membranes. Then in cytoplasm also, it is acting as a scaffolding and providing support to the cytoplasm. Now in muscles also we talked about that jet disc is surrounded by these intermediate filaments. Also it is present along the sarcolemma, the membrane of the muscle cells. So providing support to these muscle cells also. Then desmosomes, these intermediate filaments are present as tonofibrils and they are maintaining these desmosomes. Epithelial tissues, they are maintaining the integrity of epithelial tissues. And keratin we know that is present in skin and that is preventing our skin from aberrations. So any type of injury or you can say any type of cut that is being prevented by these keratin that is deposited in our skin. Then in nervous tissue also they are providing mechanical strength to axons and dendrons. So these are some of the functions of intermediate filaments. Now last we are left with the last type of tubular structure that is known as microtubule. So let's discuss about the structure and function of microtubules. These microtubules are unbranched and hollow tubular structure. बीच में hollow structure है, nothing is there. So these are going to be unbranched and hollow, cylindrical and hollow. They are made up of protein named tubulin. Plus their length is going to be, you can say, it can decrease or it can increase. It is basically having two ends, a minus end or you can say a end from where these tubulin subunits are going to dissociate, a disassembly end and a assembly end from where these tubulin subunits are going to add on. So size is going to change. Now if we see these microtubules, then these microtubules, they are made up of 13 protofilaments. Say this is the boundary of these microtubules. So the diameter here, the thickness is going to be 25 nanometer, but if we talk about this hollow structure that is present in between, that is 15 नैनोमीटर. एंड इन दिस वॉल ऑफ माइक्रोट्यूब्यूल, जो माइक्रोट्यूब्यूल की वॉल है यहाँ पर 13 प्रोटोफिलामेंट्स प्रेजेंट हैं. So these are 13 protofilaments that are present in this microtubule. Now they are made up of protein tubulin and two type of tubulins are present over here. These are alpha tubulin and beta tubulin. So these protofilaments, they are going to be present over here like this, like if I am making rings. So this is how it is associated. One alpha tubulin and one beta tubulin. So alpha is there, beta is there, again alpha is there, again beta is there. So this is how these microtubules are present. Now these microtubules, they are associated with lots of cell organelles, like they are associated with cilia and flagella. They are going to be associated with cilia and flagella. They are associated with spindle apparatus. Other than this, they are also associated with the chromosome fibers, with basal bodies, centrioles. Basal bodies, centrioles. So these are different structures with these microtubules are going to be associated. Now let's see the functions of these microtubules. These are some of the functions of microtubules. Now these are the constituents of, like spindles are there, we have already seen. These are the constituents of spindle apparatus, centrioles, basal bodies. So various structural components are formed by these microtubules. Now they are providing cytoskeleton because they are helping in maintaining the integrity of the cell. Intracellular transport within a cell, that is facilitated by these microtubules. Orientation of microfibrils in most of the plant cells. The orientation of microfibrils is controlled by microtubules, and in cells which are not having proper cell membrane, cell wall is not there, they are going to maintain the shape of those particular cells. Now nuclear movement also, they are involved in the movement of, or when there is cell division, then in the movement of nucleus these microtubules are involved. And during cell division, the chromosomes at the anaphase state, the chromosomes are going to move apart from each other. In those also these microtubules are important because they are the part of spindle apparatus, and spindle apparatus are responsible for the separation of these chromosomes. Now there are some of the agents like colchicine is there. These colchicines prevents the assembly of microtubules. And if microtubules are not going to assemble, spindle are not going to form, that means mitotic division, or you can say division, is going to arrest. Then cell plate in plants also, they are during the time of division they are involved in the formation of cell plate, and in some of the protists they are involved in the movement of food in the gullet, and they are also involved in the movement of cilia and flagella. In cell differentiation also they are employing important role. So these are some of the functions of microtubules. That's all for today. Next class we are going to discuss about cilia and flagella and detailed structure of these two structures.